Um, so I'm just going to learn one at a time, uh, just so that if in the event I decide I don't need that many, um, then I can have the option of selling it or whatever to try and recapture some of the investment I did in building it in the first place. So we'll just plop a sign down. And if I'm a little slow or scatty-brained more than usual, that's because it's still kind of early for me. I mean, it's not like super early. It's only like about 8:30 in the morning, but I typically don't stream too often at this hour because usually I spend it doing contracts and catching up on like the technophage daily that there is, that kind of thing. Why I chose to go ahead and do some housing streaming this morning, I couldn't say. It's just uh, struck me. I'd been thinking about it last night, some of the stuff that I wanted to try, and I thought, well, what the hey, I'll just go ahead and get on. Okay. Just looking at like the size and how it might look, how many I might need. Looks like probably 3 will fit comfortably across, and maybe put some other kind of a monitor or something here. And then the idea is like, I don't know how I might do an ice cream cone. I don't think we have any kind of like brown triangles. Maybe the exile floor would work. The triangle piece, I mean. I just don't know how small it can go. La, 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 la. I've been trying to find it quicker because I'm blind as a bat. Do we not have an exile triangle? Oran, Cassian, Tuba. There we go. See, I told you I'm like blind as a bat. So I'm gonna just drop one here, and supposedly, typically you can only go down to like 0.2, but supposedly if I wanted to go smaller than that, I could by manually typing in the number. But I've also heard that when you do that, there's other issues that can arise as far as when you move it or manipulate it later. So I'm kind of hesitant to do it, but obviously this is way too big for this piece. Let me straighten this up a little bit. Yeah, like that's like way huge. So let me see. Yeah, see that's about the right size, I guess. Now I don't want to take it down too small because you still want to be able to see it. So then you got the cone part. So now you need the ball. I don't think I have any of the domes left. And I don't have any of the spheres. So see, again, that's every time I make something a little original, I have to usually buy some new bits to try and fashion it, and that tallies up very quickly. So let's see what kind of, I want something that will stand out against the blue, of course, but I don't want to match the floors necessarily. So this kind of looks like marbled ice cream, maybe. We'll try that one. Maybe that one has nuts. I don't know. Just kind of don't want two gray ones, and I don't want the brown one because that'll match the cone. So I guess we'll just go with the two and have like 2 scoops of one and 1 scoop of the other or something. I don't know. First, we're going to see just how small I can get these domes because I know they come in pretty large. Try the chew one first. And let's just see. Oh, that's going to work. Might be too small. 108. No. Maybe the 5 was all right. I don't know. See, with the blue being so bright, we might not even see this very well anyway. And of course, you want the dome to be behind the cone, maybe, sort of. So I'd have to like bring the cone out a little bit, make it better match. I don't know if that's gonna work right. I don't know. It's something to try. It could completely, utterly fail as an ice cream cone. I guess the easiest way would be just to copy that one. Let's try an orange dome maybe. No, I said I didn't want to use the same coloring as the floors, but I think we really need something a little brighter. That's a big dome. Now, of course, the trouble would be I probably won't be able to successfully mimic that down below as if it's an actual little ice cream cone that someone's ordered. But maybe I can fashion like the tubs of the ice cream and bake in some kind of a scoop or something. So there's a kind of ice cream cone, sort of. I don't know if people will get that that's what that is. I have no idea, but my viewers will have the scoop. Okay, so that's an example of what I was talking about. So now I'll slap in a couple more. I guess I still need to learn that. I know I've got for sure room for 2 more at that size. So we'll just drop these in. Copy it. Gonna bring it over about there, and then I'll space the other one in. Something like that, and then, you know, maybe have the beer can in one. Okay, probably better to put that down on the table so that the orientation is a little better. just so that when they see that kind of item and then see that it's supposed to be like, well, that's what's for sale here, then maybe they'll better grasp what this is. Whatever. So there you go. Now you know you get drinks and ice cream here. So what to use in the third one? I don't know. I could put like what kind of food we got? Food. No, that's just disgusting. No, maybe the drumstick. Or the steak. The steak could work, I guess. So then you can have like maybe it is a diner and you can get all three items: main meal, the drink. Maybe that will work. Oh, I think I would prefer to get craft myself one of those called the there's some kind of like it looks like a kebab. Don't know the name of it offhand. But maybe having that. But I'd have to shrink it down pretty small, so maybe it might be a little hard to see. So, did I have a steak already? No. I wonder if the chicken would work. It just looks weird because it's raw looking. I would rather have like a browned, roasted, tasty looking. Oh well, let's get the steak, I guess. Even though it too is raw. But I did have a steak. Well, for crying out loud. Well, now I have two steaks. Okay, maybe I'll do the steak and the marble drumstick as well. Have like the two pieces just to mix it up a bit. So we need this one a little smaller. And same way with this one. Something like that. I don't know. I probably won't leave it exactly like that, but just a little indicator that you get all sorts of foods here, not just um, not just desserts, not just meals, but a little bit of everything. I'm just thinking these in a little more so they don't stick out too big. Okay, so there's the food elements. That's what we serve here. And if you see how I think that's just more to do with my graphics setting. I probably have it set so that like the distance of things, the further away they are, the less my computer has to generate the image. So as I back off, I lose a lot of details, and I'm sure that probably also has to do, I think that's the thing that they were talking about, where if you size it smaller than the 0.20, it disappears a lot quicker. So for people that are just coming in, all they'll see that is that triangle, they'll be like, what? And then as they get closer, you'll realize there's actually some extra detail there. But I think that has to do with more about how I sized it down smaller than it's actually supposed to go. If that poses a problem, I'll just find something else to use, the bottom of bottles, or probably couldn't use the files because the files are a pretty bright blue as well. But it's just something a little more high as far as conveying what is for sale here without having to rely completely on like the notice boards and panels and stuff. I don't think I have any other displays available. Yeah, let's see here. That one is probably going to be an extra that I have on hand. I don't really want to use it in any other way than the registers and stuff that I've done elsewhere. So, monitor maybe. I don't know about that one. Got all those wires and stuff hanging off of it, so it's kind of awkward to fiddle with. And I don't know why the positioning tool is way over here for that thing. But it is. Let's just. Wow, things like all over the place. Let's just straighten it up and see if I can figure out. Oops. I do that a lot. Misclick. So even at like normal, it's just tilted funny, and I don't know. So 580, and then 90. That won't be at 90 for sure. No. The thing I'm trying to do is to get the wires to be up instead of hanging down because I don't want them drooping below the ceiling here. This is just a really awkward piece to mess with. Definitely awkward. That's a handy thing, being able to change it like that, because that was really messy with the object tools being way off the screen there. So maybe this is like, I don't know, TV monitor that people can look at. What exactly would be on it, I have absolutely no idea, but you know, some places have like a TV monitor, or maybe it's like the specials of the day or something. I did think about putting up an actual title, kind of like I did with the front of the park, having it spell out something, but I couldn't think of a clever name. For it. So, but if I think of something that I think might work, um, then maybe I'll include that. You know, drop these down a little bit and put the name of it up above. But I think this will just be just a general kind of a note to but I mean, I didn't give one to the name of the other, but that's because it's basically a part of the park itself. And you know, maybe you could pretend that the name's on here along with the menu, the rest of the menu, or the specials of the day or something. But I'm not gonna go into that myself. One thing I do need to fix is we installed the lowered roof here, partly to enable me to put some type of signs up, but also just to kind of make this section a little different than this one. This feels more open, like the eatery, and this is like the nice, crowded, tight little kitchen. Um, but I only installed the two pieces, the floor and the side here, and this is actually still open on this side. So I need to go ahead and patch that up. Because if I was to go on the other side of the room, side there, and we don't want to see all the bits dangling up there. On floor. So I'll probably just, let's see. I don't know which one will be easier to copy. But I think we'll go with this. And then we'll just turn it like so. Oops. Try that again. Doing its own little thing when I move it, so. Do it object. That keeps it straight. There we go. And we'll just tuck that in just enough so it's not sticking out there. And I'm looking to see where it's hitting the glass. Kind of not exactly perfectly straight, apparently. That's a little off. So we'll leave it like so. I think that'll be all right. I don't see like a gap there. It looks like it is, but it's mostly just because it's got a lip now, kind of like this one here, got a lip, which I wanted, so okay. But at least now, if we were to view from the window here, we wouldn't see inside that bit of roofing. I'm going to go ahead and extend these countertops. Probably, I could install like a faux door here to kind of simulate as if there's more to this structure than we actually have access to. I could straighten up the shape a little better, but I think I'll just go with what's there. But yeah, I think I'm going to extend this. So I think those were edges, fortified edges. Yeah. Go ahead and drop at least these two in. And bring them on around. probably go ahead and just got a bit flatter surface to blend with. And looks more built in than it does elsewhere. Just looking at the feet there. Get it a little more. You see the front end. And then kind of putting it in the center. Some things I like even, other things I like odd. It's just, I guess it depends on my mood. I don't know. And if this place has, serves as kind of a bakery too, maybe they have their own bread ovens or something, so that, it would give me an excuse to put something like that, some kind of structure in for that. I know I could probably extend that out a little further, but I'm looking at this little nubbin here that don't want that sticking out so much on that side. Okay. Let's see. I don't know what Monkey's doing out here. We'll just kind of put him somewhere else now. But Mr. Proto, he's going to be manning the register here. So let's get him in position at the ready for any potential customers. And then we have to, of course, elevate him a bit because they're tiny. And then, of course, you have to have something there for him to be standing on. So maybe this time he goes low tech and just grabs himself a crate. Nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in crates. Of course, these crates are pretty shabby. I can't even think of the word. Shabbily. They're just made poorly because they're not. There's no square angle on them. Look at that. It's like tilted up and. Let's see. Something like that. I think he's flush with the top there. So, he has to hop on his box so that he can handle the registers, but that's okay. We're good. I think what kind of foodstuffs did I say I had? I cannot remember. I'll probably have to make myself some of those platters because I like using the platter that the pig is on, but not with the pig. I just flip it so that I have like a little platter. So I'm going to make myself a note to make maybe one or two of those. And like have, a platter and then have like some food, a drink and a plate of something on it. I don't know what. That way it looks like they're dealing with a customer. And then this one, we'll have him cooking here in the back somewhere. Doing what exactly, I have no. We'll have him doing something. see. The food. Oh, we're in the vendor. I was like, man, where's my crystal? I think these will be a little awkward, but we're gonna try it. I've used them before. I've used other things for water effects, but since I have these on hand, it means I don't have to buy something else to use it, even if it probably would look better. I'm gonna go ahead and try and use tiny blue crystals that aren't so tiny anymore. Whoa, goes nuts. Again, like I said, it's probably a bit awkward to use because it's such an odd shape of an item. You know, it's like a little monolith, mini monolith kind of thing. And it's difficult to hide all the bits that are in it. But we'll give it a try, and if it doesn't work, then I'll figure out something else. I could put in like an orange wall. That's always a nice. It even has. It's like stone, but it like when you put it in the scenery of a sink, it kind of looks like bubbly water, like soap suds. I'm having to really shrink this just to get it to not show up out here. Curviness of that particular item. Not working very well, is it? And I don't really want it extending off onto that side. Maybe that won't be such a bad thing. I make the blue water on both. A little odd. A lot of tweaking, a lot of, you know, just position it just so that it doesn't show through anywhere else. And so it takes a little bit of finagling. See, it's still slightly, you just got to keep going until you don't see it at all. And I just copy. So now it looks like one giant sink of water. But maybe I want it a little lower so that that bar in the middle shows. So it's low enough that the bar shows, but high enough that the bottom of the sink doesn't. You want to keep the. And yeah, there's some lines where the thing shows, but it's okay. Of course, now we've got this here. I wasn't really paying attention, so now I got to deal with that. So let's see, 8.9 maybe. No, let's do the front one first. That's the one. So see, I was paying attention over here, but not over here, so I still have to fix it a little bit. Okay, try this. Select the right one here. Tuck it in there, then it shows a little bit there. 7 maybe? Hidden, but does it fit okay here? Little off. Maybe I can hide that a bit. Hide that bit a bit. Okay, so I put that at 370. I'll do the same for this one. Yeah, what I could do is maybe just reduce this a little, so it doesn't have to be bigger to fit the edges smoothly. That poses its own problems because maybe it's sticking out funny on the other side. Mostly I for sure want this side to be, because the way I do it is like I make one side kind of sudsy and the other side not, so that you have a wash and a rinse. That's just gonna creep out there, isn't it? Maybe if I flip it this way and just doesn't want to work right for me, does it? Now, for a lot of people, having that little bit of blue probably wouldn't bother them, but for me, it's like, I get rid of the blue. Make it a little smaller, I guess. Don't think I'm going to get that nice clean edge that I'm wanting. Every time I push it to hide it, doesn't fill in the bottom there. So let's try this way. No, that won't work. Too pointy. It'll definitely stick out. Well, I could just ignore it for the time being. Curses. But yeah. So then let's see. Got like a crap ton of these, but that's because I've used them as this before. So we'll go ahead and use a few. I'm not going to go completely hog wild with them. And, you know, I may end up moving this whole little structure somewhere else, but for now I think it's all right to have it here. And basically you just turn it. And then I'll make a few the same size, but I'll have them in different positions so it doesn't look too uniform. You know, bubbles, they don't come in perfect or different sizes, things like that. So we'll make this one a little, drop them down a little bit, just to give a kind of idea that that's supposed to be bubbles. So bubbles. As I go, I may end up adding more, possibly. Um, the thing about doing these kind of little touches like this is you can quickly run into you've taken it too far with, well, not too far, but I mean, it eats up your decor count, and that can be quite troublesome. So I've left it an odd number, which in instances like this, odd numbers are better. So if I add any more, I'll try to keep it odd. I won't add just one more on. If I was to add a few, I'd add two, and then just to keep it odd. Uh, but for now, that's enough that you get the idea that that's the soapy side and that's the rinse side. Probably I'll end up moving back here, knowing me, because you don't want to show your dirty dishes and stuff to the customers. So I'll probably move that to the back. But for now, that's okay. I mean, we have the idea there, and once you get the idea there, then you can adjust position into relation to other things later. Something I talked about with this fish collector thing was I was going to try and like fashion some kind of a thing like a food replicator kind of deal, but I don't know how easily that'll be being able to pull that off and have it make sense. I don't think most people will get that, what I'm going for there, so I'm just playing around with sizes and positioning here, and moving all the time is kind of hard to catch it right. I'm going to place that because I have the height right, but I need the position a little modified. So I'm kind of like trying to put it in the corner there. Why I want it there, I have no idea. It just seems, for me, it seems like that's where it should be. And then I'm looking at where it's positioned on countertop as well. So like my idea was that it would be like, I don't know, somewhere, maybe there's a little control pad or something with some buttons that the ProtoStar guy would like punch it in, and then the machine, whatever it is back here, would like spit out the food. like it's some kind of like a food replicator, or I don't know, there's a little uh, cooking factory back behind here that they just spit out the stuff and then there it is, you know. If that actually comes off as what I intended to be, that's another thing, but um, we shall see, I guess. Let's see. I think I'm going to put in some faux doors here, just to kind of, again, make it like it's there's more to the facility than what you see. And the issue is, don't want the gap here. I want it to be big enough that it hides that, but not so um, big that when I sink it down here, it's sticking out the bottom. It says it's straight, but that looks odd. So I don't know, it's just the shape of it, I guess. Oops. Guess it didn't like me moving it in relation to the world, so pop that right away. Now I'm going to copy this, but I'm going to flip it so that it kind of has like a mirror effect. And then I'll rig up some handles of some sort for it. Or maybe it's just one big giant door that goes through. But again, I'm checking for the gap back here. I want to hide as much of it as possible. I want it to be, you know, feel like it's flush with the wall. And the problem with that is this particular bit is gapped anyway, so as you push it in, it starts getting showing, and then it just kind of messes up the whole feel of it. Typically, I end up having to like do putting some kind of pillars on either side to kind of hide that, which it looks like I'm going to have to do that here just to cover it. Hoping to avoid that, but looks like it's going to be. What would be ideal is just to, well, maybe I could. Don't think I can craft those or buy them, but if I get a hold of maybe a couple more pressure dryers, I can just double it up, and that way it looks thick, but it isn't, and I can get away with probably using fewer pieces. Now, the only thing I'm coming down here for is to check, make sure that when I pushed it down, it didn't like pop through the back there, which it didn't, so that's good.